Hello there everybody, and welcome to this 83rd video. This one is on drawing linear graphs. Keywords here are linear, substitute and equation. Now the word linear just in this context refers to a straight line. So you are in fact drawing straight line graphs. The word substitute means to change the letter for the value that you're given, and equation is something that you can solve. It's also something that you can graph, and that's what we are doing here. We are graphing these equations. Now, to draw a straight line graph, you must substitute the values of x that you're given in the table of values into the equation. Now, if you haven't got that table of values for x, you're going to have to choose the values for yourself. This will find you the y value for that particular x value point, and then those become coordinates which you then plot. All right, it's a pretty simple process, and I will talk you through it in the examples that I've got for you. Apologies if the webcam goes over the bit that I am writing in. I don't get to see what the webcam, where the webcam is when I zoom into things. All right, but I do need to zoom in to show you. So let's have a little look at the first question. No, that's not really that helpful. There we go. So first question, I'm going to work out what the values of y are using my values of x. Okay, so draw the graph of y equals 2x. There is the equation. Y equals 2x is the equation we've been given. Pretty simple equation. That means y is equal to 2 lots of x, 2 times x. Use the table of values to help you. So if x is 1, we replace that x in there with that 1. All right, so 2 times 1 is 2, so y would equal 2. All right. If x is 2, then we replace the x for a 2. 2 times 2, which is 4. So that goes in there. If x is 3, you get the idea by now. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 5 is 10. Now, you might notice there's a pattern there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, it's the 2 times table. And that's because this is effectively the sequence 2n, right, which is the 2 times table. So it does very much connect to the world of the sequences, all right, and the nth term rule. Now, these numbers become the coordinates that you're going to plot. This one is 1, 2, all right. I'm not going to write all of them because they're already there, okay. That one's 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10. I'm going to plot the coordinates, then I'm going to join them up on the graph. So 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, and that's it that I've got. But I could plot the next one if I wanted to. You can see the pattern, all right, and that would be 6, 12. All right, might as well because it is on the graph, and it doesn't say where to go to. But you don't have to plot it because the line will be there anyway once you draw the line. So you get your pencil, you get your ruler, and you start at 0, 0, because if x is 0, y is obviously 0, and you go up through here, and what you see there is the graph of y equals 2x. Okay, now just connecting it to the world of proportion as well, it's directly proportional. It's a graph that starts at 0, 0 and goes up in a straight line with a constant of proportionality effectively, but we'll get to that later on down the line in the ratio and proportion topic. So that's that one. Nice and simple, simple equation, simple positive x values all substituted in, gave us a lovely graph. Easy peasy. All right, let's have a go out of that and then into this one. Now hopefully you will be able to see what I'm writing again into the box, and I'm not covering it over in the webcam. I can't see the webcam, but yeah, hopefully that's going to be visible for you. So in this one, we've got to draw the graph of y equals x minus 1 for x values of -6 to 6. So this time we haven't got any x values in the table. We haven't got space for all of the x values from -6 to 6. So we're just going to pick and choose. All right. Technically, you don't actually need to do all of them. All right. But if we've got a table, we could be getting marks for filling this table in. So let's put in some x values. Right. Well, I'm going to put in. I'm going to start at -6. Okay, and then I'm not going to go up evenly. I'm going to go up to -2 there, just so I've got another negative value. It's always worthwhile putting 0 in. Okay, then I'm going to put 2 in, give it a bit of symmetry, and then I'm going to go up to 6. All right, now I'm just going to substitute those values into the equation wherever the x is, find out what the y value is. So y equals minus 6 minus 1. If you want to do minus 6 minus 1, you would get minus 7. Okay? And if you're not sure, right, with positive and negative, if you're multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, negatives, go back to the number section and watch that video that I made for you. Okay? Minus 2 goes in. Minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. Okay? 0 goes in. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 2 goes in. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 6 goes in. 6 take away 1 is 5. Okay? Now, what we've got there, again, are coordinates. Minus 6, minus 7 needs to be plotted. Okay? I won't write the rest in as well because it's very awkward and it doesn't look brilliant with the mouse. But plotting those as coordinates, minus 6, minus 7. Now, minus 7 is not actually visible there, but you can see that that number follows on to be minus 7. So, minus 6 on the x, minus 7 on the y, plot the point. Okay? Minus 2, minus 3, go across to minus 2, go down to minus 3. Plot the point. Okay? Plot the point with x's. I'm not doing that because the mouse doesn't work brilliantly. Okay? 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1. 2, 1. And 6, 5. Okay? And what we should have, if we just look at it by eye before we join it up with anything, right, is a straight line. A linear graph. And we do. Okay? And I'm just going to start at the bottom, get my ruler, get my pencil. Obviously imagine that I'm doing that. And just join those points together with a lovely straight line. Draw it as neatly as you possibly can. Alright? Now what you'll notice about this one as well is that the graph goes through minus 1 on the y-axis. Now we'll do another video explaining this in more detail, but you can see that it goes through minus 1. That's the number on the end. That's not a coincidence. That is always going to happen. Whatever that number is on the end, it's going to go through that point on the y-axis. And the number in front of the x is the gradient, okay? And that number is an invisible one, all right? And that is because we're going across 1 and up 1, across 1, up 1, across 1, up 1, okay? We're working out the difference in y divided by the difference in x, and we're getting the gradient, right? Again, that'll be more explained in another video, but that is not a coincidence either, okay? We didn't get the same pattern as we got in the last one because we chose just a random set of still a pattern there, but it's not an easy pattern to follow. All right, random set of x values that we used. Right, zooming out of that and having a look at the last one, but I'm going to need to move myself over, so I'm going to need to get rid of everything that we've done so far. So pause the video if you want to understand that just a little bit further. I will just get rid of it now, and then I'll move over so we've got as much of a chance of seeing everything that I'm doing in the third question. So let's see if I can get back in. There we go. Hopefully I'm down in this bottom corner here. So draw the lines x plus y equals 5 and x equals 3 and y equals x plus 2 on the grid. So we've got 3 different lines to draw. Now this one's a slightly different form, isn't it? X plus y equals 5. Now the trick to doing the x plus y ones, right, is if x is 0, right, you don't have to do this with any tables here. There's no tables to help you. Right, but the trick is if x is 0, something would have to be y, or y would have to be something, and that something would have to be 5 because 5 has to equal 5. So if x is 0, then y is 5. Okay, so plot that point there. All right, and then if y was 0, then x would be 5. So y is 0 and x is 5. Okay, so there's that point there. All right, hopefully you'll understand what that is, why that makes sense. It's just using your zeros in place of here and just doing it quickly. All right, so we join that up with a line and we go there to there, and it joins the 2 5s together on this 1 quadrant grid that we've got. Now x equals 3, let's get a different color up to do the x equals 3. If x equals 3, we go across the 3 on the x-axis and we go straight up. I've done a video on that. Please watch that one. It's prior to this one at some point. Can't remember what number it is, but watch it. It's equations of lines. Y equals x plus 2. Now, I mentioned in the question above about when you've got a number in front here. It's an imaginary 1. So we've got that 1 that's in front of x. Okay, so that means go across 1, up 1, cross 1, up 1, cross 1, up 1. There's our gradient. And then it goes through plus 2. So we can draw this one nice and quickly. All right, without having to do this table of values. All right, by going up and starting at 2, because it's going to go through 2 on the y-axis, and then going across 1, up 1. Okay? Cross 1, up 1. Cross 1, up 1. And across 1, up 1. Okay? Probably could have done that in a different colour, but I've got there now, so I'm just going to leave it there. So there we go. There is that line drawn. Alright? I've done it like that. And you don't have to, obviously, you haven't got the ability to drag out a line. Alright? So you just go with your pencil, follow through, and plot that point, cross 1, up 1, plot that point, cross 1, up 1, plot that point, cross 1, up 1, plot that point. Then join it up with your ruler and your pencil. Okay, so there we go. Let's see what we have to do now. So state a coordinate that is enclosed by the triangle these 3 lines create. So the triangle that's created by these 3 lines is this one that's in the middle. And we've got to state any of the coordinates that are enclosed by that point. Now we could choose a real fancy one. We could go 2.75 and 2.5, right, if we really wanted to. But let's go 2.5, because we're halfway between 2 and 3, and this one here. All right, so we'll choose that point next. That's the first one that I got to. We could have had this one. We could have had this one, but I'm going to choose, or we could have had that one. There's 4 there. All right, they're all inside that triangle, but I'm going to have that one there. All right, that first one. All right, so let's just get back in that red pen because the green's not that nice to look at. So 2.5, 3 is the coordinate that we would write down. Oh, what is, hold on. No, don't want to erase it all. 2.5, 3. All right, there you go. And that is everything on that particular topic that you need to be aware of. Just be careful. Sometimes you might get more complicated looking equations, ones that have been rearranged into different forms, in which case just rearrange it into the form of y equals something, x plus or minus something, and then you'll be able to do what I've shown you. All right, so there you go. There's all of that. Hopefully you've enjoyed that one just as much as you've enjoyed the rest. And if you haven't enjoyed the rest, hopefully you've enjoyed this one more. I don't know. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Like, subscribe, all that stuff that is just nonsense to say. It means nothing, does it? All right, just watch the videos and improve your maths. All right, cheers guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.